so pumped to ride this thing. But I'm also impartial. This is not a paid review. I was sent the bike for free in exchange for an honest, level-headed review. But I'm still excited. So first thing we do here is we turn on the bike. You also want to unlock the full power potential. The way you do that is within 5 seconds of turning it on, the plus and minus button at the same time. That brings you to this display, and there's a lot of stuff you can change, but there's essentially two settings related to the performance. The first one is lim, the speed limiter, and 72 kilometers per hour is the highest you can set it to. And then the other setting is C5. You want to set that to 10 to have the maximum power in the motor. I think that corresponds to the wattage. So setting that to 10 is the maximum 2,000 watts. We're sitting at 66 volts, so just about a full battery.
Due to my excitement in the moment, I forgot to mention the basic specifications here. So we're dealing with a 60 volt, 20 amp hour battery, a 2,000 watt motor when you fully unlock it, and that's on a full suspension, fat tire bike with BMX handlebars.
Okay, so let's do this. Whoa! 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 Wait a minute. Okay, so we're coasting right now, 15 miles per hour. Full throttle. Whoa. Okay. Okay, that's a little bit weird. Very fast bike. 33? 35? Whoa, okay, this is a fast bike. 35.8 miles per hour according to that display. Although I gotta say, it does feel like 35 miles per hour. The reason why I said weird when I was first accelerating is because I think it was at 24 miles per hour. The torque kind of dipped and then it came back again. I'm not sure why it did that. Again, this is my very first time riding the bike, so I'm sure I'll soon discover maybe I did something wrong with the throttle, maybe it's more sensitive or something like that. We got good hydraulic disc brakes. When you have a lot of go, you need a lot of stop. I think these rotors are 180. Yeah, they're definitely 180. And man, this acceleration, right from the bottom, I thought that because the wheels on this bike are so massive, which more on that later, but that the wheel size affects the gear ratio. So the bigger the wheel, the faster the top speed, but the lower the torque. But even with these big wheels, I mean, that low end torque, my gosh. I like this bike. I like this bike a lot. Okay, I'm gonna enjoy this ride, gather a bit more data, and check back in a little bit. Okay, I learned something. Oh man, the off-roading capabilities. Right at home. But I have some data to report back on. This is where does it say it? A Handtack motor. These things are significantly better than Bafang hub motors. This is a geared hub and they implement steel gears, so the durability of this motor, top notch. But I mean, this is just way more torquey and powerful than any Bafang hub motor I've ever used. It's also like physically bigger than most Bafang hub motors. I mean, when you accelerate, you actually have to like hang on to the handlebars. It's awesome. Man, where has this thing been my whole life? Oh, yes. Okay, I gotta save battery life a little bit here. Just ripping it at 32 miles per hour. You know, it's also surprisingly nimble for being such a huge bike, and it is a huge bike. But I feel like I have plenty of control. We have tall handlebars, BMX style, my favorite. So the riding position, I'm almost vertical, my body. But like I said, I can still toss the bike no problem. Oh my gosh. It's not a heavy bike, it's 77 pounds. I think most of that weight comes from the ginormous tires. But even at high speeds, it feels pretty stable.
Day 2.
Dude, you gotta try this thing.
So this is wired. I like how high the handlebars are compared to my Onyx.
Very comfortable,
This is
yes.
nice. This is like nice for my shoulders.
Yeah,
and my
yeah.
back.
I told you it's torquey. Go and report back. Yeah, yeah. The fenders are a little bit wonky,
Yeah.
but at least it has them.
I forgot about like when you're riding, you get
Yeah, it goes fast. Hey, do me a favor, bounce on. I want to see the rear suspension.
Okay.
Yeah, so the front fork has some good. Yeah, it's tall.
It's really tall, yeah.
Yeah, so there's some movement in the back, but I think the fat tires do most of the work. Funny thing is, I tried to show the bike to Ryan yesterday when I first got it, but there was a problem. The bike wouldn't turn on. I assembled it, I was super excited to hop on, had the camera going and everything, but the bike was completely dead. I was very concerned, I thought something was wrong with the bike, but it was normal. And for those of you guys that purchase this bike, what you have to do when you first get it is plug in or connect a specific cable. So if you're looking at it from sitting on the bike, inside of this left bunching of cables, about 2/3 of the way down, there's a connector right there, and that out of the box is unplugged. So you have to locate it, plug it in, and then you can turn on the bike. And you know what, since I'm talking about weird quirks about the bike, something you should also know is when the bike reverses, there's a little bit of resistance. I initially thought the chain was messed up or something like that, but that's completely normal. This motor has steel gears, and that's a symptom of it. When you go in reverse, it's a little, like you feel a little bit of vibration.
Day 3.
Okay, I want to show you guys side by side the physicality this bike brings to the table. So this is my beloved Cricket Path bike. It represents a standard e-bike, right? 20 by 4-inch wide fat tires, normal kind of size. And then we have the wired bike. Significantly bigger. I mean, the frame isn't that much bigger. It's just the wheels. The wheels are just so massive. All right, now you guys know that I did upgrade this bike to have a 60-volt battery. So both bikes are at the same voltage, 1500 watts versus 2000. And I want to do a drag race to see which one is faster. So we have the bikes lined up, and we're going to do a 0 to hopefully 30 mile an hour test here. 3, 2, 1, go. And 30. Whew. All right, that wasn't too bad. Okay, you in sport mode? 3, 2, 1, go. Ooh, close off the line. But yeah, he has way more top speed.
To end the video, allow me to give you guys my closing thoughts on the bike. I'll summarize what I like, what I don't like. So, to put it simply, I don't only think this bike is good, I think it serves as the benchmark, the bike to beat for the $2,000 price tag. Right now, I think it's impossible to find something that gives you more value, more bike for $2,000. Without a doubt, the core selling point here is the high voltage, high capacity battery, 60 volts, 20 amp hours, and the motor, which was super impressive to me. 2000 watts geared motor with steel gears, giving you extra durability. The acceleration is enough to do a wheelie if you're not careful, and the top speed is roughly 35 miles per hour. But instead of gushing too much about the things I like about this bike, it might be more useful to tell you guys the few things that I don't like. So the first point here is the aesthetics. This has a regular bike frame. Some people might view that as a pro because it's more stealthy, but in comparison to the other moped style bikes I'm riding with right now, those tend to just look better. They're also more inviting because the second thing I don't like about the Wired Freedom is the physical size. It's a massive bike, and if you're kind of on the short side, riding this bike comfortably is going to be a challenge. I'm 5'10", and I don't think you want to be much smaller than me if you want to buy this bike. Something else I wasn't in love with is the rear suspension. I feel like they added it just to check off that box because they know a lot of people shopping around for bikes want a full suspension model, and this technically has it, but as we saw previously, the travel, the effectiveness of that rear linkage is very low. I would say it's better than having nothing, being a hardtail, but only by the smallest of margins. Now, that's not to say the bike isn't comfortable. The front fork is pretty good. There's also fat tires, which help to absorb lots of the smaller bumps. And to increase the comfort even more, you could easily swap out the seat for something that has more padding, as well as those springs underneath. I did that myself, and the ride did get noticeably better, because the stock seat isn't that great, especially for longer rides. But as of right now, that's essentially all of the negatives I can think of when it comes to this bike. No matter what bike you go with, you always need to buy some additional key starter accessories like a mirror, security system, air tags. I'll leave my favorite go-to items linked down below. I still plan on buying the Teleria X3, which is only $1,000 more than this bike, and it's also a 60-volt system. So that comparison is definitely coming as soon as I can get my hands on that new X3. I want to thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Sidewalk action. I'll race ya on green. Yep. 60 volts. Those bumps. The lack of good rear suspension.